Jonah and the Storm. Once, there was a man named Jonah, a prophet chosen by God. One day God gave Jonah a difficult command. Go to the great city of Nineveh and warn them. Their wickedness has reached its peak, and I will destroy them unless they repent. But Jonah was afraid. Nineveh was a brutal city, full of violence and sin. He didn't believe they deserved saving, and he didn't want to face them. So instead of obeying God, Jonah decided to run. He fled to the port city of Joppa and boarded a ship headed to Tarshish, the furthest place he could imagine, hoping to escape from God's presence. As the ship sailed, Jonah thought he was free. But soon, a violent storm arose, unlike any the sailors had ever seen. The wind howled, the waves crashed against the ship, and it began to break apart. The sailors, terrified, cried out to their gods for help, but nothing changed. Desperate, they threw cargo overboard to lighten the load, but the storm only worsened. Jonah, feeling the weight of his guilt, knew the storm was because of him. He hid below deck, but the captain found him. "How can you sleep through this? Get up, call on your God. Maybe he will save us." Jonah knew there was only one way to stop the storm. He stood before the crew and confessed, "I am running from the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the land. This storm is because of me. If you throw me into the sea, the storm will calm." The sailors didn't want to kill Jonah, but as the storm grew worse, they had no choice. They prayed for forgiveness and, with great reluctance, threw Jonah overboard. As soon as Jonah hit the water, the storm stopped. The sea grew calm, and the ship was saved. But Jonah was not. As he sank into the deep, a giant fish, sent by God, swallowed him whole. For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah remained in the belly of the fish, trapped in darkness. In his despair, he prayed to God, asking for forgiveness and mercy, and God, in his grace, heard Jonah's prayer. On the 3rd day, the fish spat Jonah onto dry land. Shaken but alive, Jonah understood there was no running from God's call. This time, he obeyed. He went to Nineveh and delivered God's message. To Jonah's surprise, the people of Nineveh listened, repented of their sins, and God spared the city. Though Jonah's journey had been full of fear and running, it ended with a powerful lesson. No matter how far we try to flee, we cannot escape God's plan, and His mercy is always greater than we expect.